Hello and welcome back to Back Row Critics, episode 6. How you doing, Will?
Doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Just a little bit of recap for us personally. I just got back from Paris. I was there for just over a week. It's my favorite city in the world. So yeah, went last year, had to go back again this year. It's just like the coolest city ever. So absolutely love it. But how you been doing? What's new with you this week?
I mean, it's no Cleveland, Ohio, but yeah, Paris seems like it could be great, right?
Yeah, not a bad second city after Cleveland, right?
Yeah. No, but I'm doing good, just working, hanging out, watching some movies, and ready to talk some movies.
Speaking of watching some movies, let's get into it. What did you watch last week?
So I did hit two first-time watches this
Oh,
past a couple of weeks. I watched I Love You, Man. It is I don't know if you'd call it a rom-com, like a bromance com, I guess, but it was my first time watching that. I actually watched the interview between where Paul Rudd and Jason Segel were blatantly baked during this interview. I watched that and it kind of made me want to watch the movie, and I had a good time with it. I think it was a very solid, just fun comedy film between two actors that I think are hilarious. And then I also watched The Stoned Age. Watched that on 420. Just thought it'd be a fun one that I saw on Prime Video given the date that it was. And didn't have, I would say, the greatest time. It definitely feels like somebody was trying to rip off Dazed and Confused. I think it came out a year after. It had some moments, but I wouldn't say I loved it by any means.
so the Stoned Age, let's just be clear about it, is 100% a ripoff of Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a big fan of that movie. Just as the audience, stick with Dazed and Confused and you guys will be fine out there. But I actually am a big fan of I Love You, Man. I think it's a very underrated comedy. And yeah, I think brocom, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I think it's super fun. I don't think there's enough movies about that, actually, because I have some guys in my life, you included, Will, who I have like a real love for and I think are just like great guys. And I think as a society, like as men, we're like basically told that like that's weird or that's not okay to have. It's like guys that you like really like, care about and respect and love spending time with and stuff. And that's what that movie's about. And I think that's
Yeah.
really like amazing and it's super funny. It's got weird stuff. But like when you get to the end of that movie, like those two guys genuinely like love each other. Like they have a real love for each other. And I think I don't know, it's really cool. It's funny. It's quotable. I love how cool Jason Segel is. And I just love how awkward Paul Rudd is. He plays
Yeah.
awkward really, really well. And I just, yeah, I think it's just a really fun movie and a topic that's honestly like not talked about enough. And I think they did a great job.
For sure. I Love You Too, Man, by the way.
Oh, see, we're making the sequel right now. I love you
Boom.
too. Man,
Man.
I love it. So for me last week, I watched The Devil Wears Prada, which is
Okay.
just a returning favorite I go to all the time. I love that film. It makes me so happy. It makes me obnoxiously happy. I love that movie, everything about it, start to finish. Meryl Streep delivers somehow just an incredible performance in a movie about fashion, and Meryl Streep just hits it out of the park as she always does. So yeah, super excited for the sequel. We'll definitely be watching that as soon as it comes out. I also saw The Housemaid. My wife and I watched it on the plane with
Okay.
Amanda Seyfried and Sydney Sweeney. That movie is a hard pass. I don't really
Oh.
know why it exists. I mean, I know the books are really, really popular. I think the casting of Sydney Sweeney was very, very poor.
Yeah.
I think Amanda Seyfried really does what she can while also just kind of looking really bored.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It's just the movie literally did nothing for me. There's so many things that happen in the movie that just don't make any sense. Like Amanda Seyfried literally says, like, you need to start dressing appropriately. And then the next scene, like Sydney Sweeney's wearing this ridiculous push-up bra where her like chest is sticking out of her shirt. And I'm not knocking that. I'm knocking the story element of you need to dress appropriately. And then she has like short shorts on and like, this like push-up bra. And it's like, okay, well, that's going directly against. And then she's like, stay away from my husband. And then like 15 minutes later, they're sleeping together. Like there's just so many things that like just story-wise don't make any sense and are really ridiculous, and it
Yeah.
just didn't do anything for me at all.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard mixed reviews. I'm not going to lie. I haven't watched Euphoria, so I can't speak to that, but I haven't really loved any performance in a movie that I've seen from Sydney Sweeney, to be honest.
I think we might have talked about this in a really early episode, but I would suggest watching a movie called Nocturne.
Okay.
And it's an Amazon original, and it's before she did Euphoria, and it's the best
Okay.
performance I've seen her do, but it's called Nocturne, and it's a very creepy film.
Yeah.
And the movie is focused on her performance rather than highlighting her sexuality, which
Okay.
once again, I am not a hater of that at all. I fully support people doing whatever they want with their bodies and their stories, but Nocturne really focuses on her ability to act, and she's very good in the film. I enjoy it
Yeah.
quite a bit. So yeah, check that out. And then the last film, the third film that I watched, just to kind of give a little nod to Going to Paris, which I watched Amelie, which is just such a wonderful, lovely, feel good, beautifully made and constructed film. Once again, kind of like I Love You, Man. I feel like we need more films like Amelie, where like
Yeah.
somebody's goal is just to make the world a better place. Like that's literally what the film boils down to. She just wants to make the world a better place. And I think it's so smartly done, and it's just a really lovely film. So yeah, Devil Wears Prada, Housemaid, and Amelie. Have you seen Amelie?
I have not.
Yeah, really wonderful I would say watch that film when you're just kind of in a good mood. Like
Okay.
you're feeling good and you want to take that to the next step. Like and you
Yeah.
just want to be like, I want to be in an even better mood. Watch it. It's a really chill film. It's really sweet. It's beautifully done and it just works on like every level. So, for
Cool.
those of you listening out there, what did you watch this week? What did you guys check out? Anything fun? What do you think of our films, our reviews of the films that we watched? Yeah, let us know your thoughts out there. All right, let's jump into what's going on in the industry. There's some interesting things happening right now. I want to just touch on a few things. Number one, I saw this immediately before we started recording. So this is immediately before I just watched the teaser trailer for Clayface. Have you seen it?
I have not. So I've been at work all day. My one friend sent it to me, so I do need to watch it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so when I first heard that they were doing Clayface, I was like, what is y'all doing? That sounds absurd. The trailer looks incredible. The teaser. They really, really highlight how, pretty this guy was and how horribly mangled he is now.
Mhm.
And they do some really fun, like, kind of nods to the character, to the animated series, especially like the Batman animated series. Do one nod in particular to a way that he molded his body and using a shadow in an alley. And I'm all in. I'm ready for this movie. I had no interest in seeing it. I saw the teaser. I'm like, let's go. So
Yeah.
definitely check out the teaser, Will, and let me know your thoughts.
Okay.
Another thing going on, Heart Eyes 2 has been officially greenlit for 2028. I thought Heart Eyes was such a fun movie. I had a blast watching it. I don't care if there was crappy continuity things or stuff that just didn't make sense. I thought it was a really fun take on a genre that we've seen a million times, and I had a blast watching it. Did you see Heart Eyes?
Yeah, I actually have a friend who doesn't like it, and I don't know why she doesn't like it because I thought it was a fun time, really fun
Yeah.
slasher. And I like our main characters. I thought they were fun enough. Yeah, there's some obvious flaws with it, like you
Yeah.
said, but I kind of look past them. I'm always here for a good slasher, though.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just a good time. Like, if you go into it going, yeah, I just want to have fun with this and I want to see people get killed, you're going to have a good time.
Yeah, people do get killed. That's
Yeah.
what we're there for. It.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, so greenlit for 2028, Hard Eyes 2. The Michael Jackson biopic, Michael, is looking to earn $65 to $70 million in its opening.
Yeah.
I was really curious how this was going to go. When I first heard about it, I was like, it's going to be very divisive. Are you going to show up to hear the music on the big screen? What are they going to show? What are they not going to show? Are they going to get into all the legal stuff? I don't know. But I really didn't know how it was going to go. A lot of people seem really, really surprised. That's a huge opening for this movie. Do you have any interest in seeing this movie, Will?
I actually have tickets already.
Well, I love it. Love it.
I was a big Michael Jackson fan as a kid. I haven't grown away from that. I still think his music some of the best to ever be made. I mean, there's a reason he's the king of pop, right? I did hear some things like that they're not going to include versus what they are going to include. And it's not deterring me from watching this movie. At the end of the day, I'm a movie guy, so I'm going to go check it out. I actually have tickets for opening night, so I'll have to let you know what I think when I go check it out. And then next episode, maybe we can talk about it a little bit.
Absolutely. Love it. Yeah. Audience out there, let us know. What are you guys seeing? What are you excited for? What trailers, what movies are you getting tickets for? What are you guys interested in? And then speaking of trailer, Practical Magic 2, the trailer just dropped. I'm so excited. I love the original one. We talked about it right before we started, Will, that it's on your list of movies to see.
Yeah.
It's such a fun, witchy movie. I know how much you love Salem, how much Rosie loves Salem. I know how into that you guys are. So I really feel like that is essential viewing for the two of you as Practical Magic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that we'll obviously get to before the second one comes out, but that we'll probably get to very soon, honestly. I would say in the next couple of weeks, that's something I'd like to hit.
Yeah, really, really fun film. You know, it's one of those films where there's some things that happen, you go, what? This doesn't really, what? But once again, it's like you look past that because of the charm of the film. I've been using that word a lot more since you highlighted it with Hocus Pocus, I believe it was. That's what Practical Magic is, man. It's just a really charming film. Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman, I think, just give really fun, lovely performances. And the film just, yeah, it has so much charm to it. And it's got a really nice little score soundtrack to it. Yeah, so super, super fun film. Any other Hollywood news you want to get into, Will? Anything going on you want to chat about?
Not anything that's, top of mind. I mean, you covered a good chunk of it. Still just, I know we talked about it last episode, just counting down to Backrooms. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most right now. Like, as far as coming out in the next few months.
I really, really hope that lives up to the hype and to the trailer. I think the trailer was really good.
I'm kind of scared I'm setting myself up for failure, but
I'm worried about it too.
I'm not going to not be excited.
When a trailer is really, really good, my fear is that all the good is in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather have a trailer be like, okay, there's a lot of mystery here, but I'm interested, than a trailer that is phenomenal, and then you watch the movie and you go, every great thing in the movie is in the trailer. This is awful.
Do you know what movie was like that for me last year? 28 Years Later.
Really?
That trailer, I mean, with that radio cast, and like, I was pumped. I ended up liking Bone Temple a good bit, but I was not like, I went into 28 Years Later expecting to love it, and I came out of it not hating it, but I was definitely underwhelmed, and I wouldn't say I loved it.
I think I have to go ahead and completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I think the trailer was rock star. I think so. That voiceover and how they made it sound and warp that voice, it gave me chills.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, this movie is going to be absolute slam dunk, like movie of the year candidate. And when it was over, I was like, okay, that was fine. But actually, I agree. I had a stronger reaction to Bone Temple. I was like, okay, yeah, this was fun. This was really fun. Yeah, I think that's a really good example. My number one example all time, actually, maybe I'll save it. We could do a segment on an episode of trailers that ruined movies or trailers that were better than movies. Those of you out there listening, let us know. What are your favorite trailers that ruined the movie, where the trailer is far superior to the movie? Let us know. And then the other side of it, the trailer that you just thought was meh and the movie was rock star. So reach out to us and let us know what you guys think. So, Will, I want to do a really fun segment that we talked about, which is a new segment for us, that for now I'm titling, and we can certainly change it. I'm titling it Sequel Superior ? So we're going to go through some movies, the original and the sequel, and we're just going to go through and highlight whether we think the original or the sequel is better.
Okay.
But we're going to start off with some classic ones. This will be kind of a segment that we can do a few different times, and we'll just start off with a few. I think a fun one maybe to start off with is Toy Story versus Toy Story 2. Which one do you have as being the superior film?
This is one that I go back and forth on, I feel like. To me, it's like, you can't have one without two, and you can't have two without one. But if I had to pick right now, Fate of the World, I'm quoting ESPN, I'd probably go with two.
That's interesting, because so the easiest way to say it is, this is a slam dunk answer for me, but it's closer than it feels, which is, it's a weird statement, because for me, the very obvious answer is one for me. But when I say it, it's a very, very personal thing, because I remember being young and watching Toy Story, and I remember even at a young age thinking, animated movies have changed forever. Like, this movie has changed animation for the rest of, cinema history. And that is not like hyperbole. That is not like overreacting. I think it's a complete fact. The original Toy Story changed the way that we made and viewed animated films. And for me, that is what gives it the edge. I think that there are exquisitely beautiful things in the sequel. I think the sequel is a phenomenal film. There is absolutely nothing to take away from it. I think it's fantastic, and it gives such beautiful moments. But for me, it's such a slam dunk of the original, just because of introducing these characters. The story they told was so good, and the fact that that film changed the way that we did everything. And it's funny when you have two films and one is a very obvious answer for you, but it doesn't take anything away from the second. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, yes, I agree with everything you said about one. It's almost like this is a good example of like a 1A, 1B, because I think these movies are just kind of on the same pedestal. But the second one for me, I love the introduction of, we get the full crew here. We add some characters, and I one of my favorite animated scenes of all time is probably Woody getting put back together. I think that scene alone kind of puts it over the edge for me. I think it's just one of the most satisfying scenes to watch. But it's just also, it's a really good story. Like you said, there's a lot of moments where you can get emotional, especially with Jesse's background. And then Bullseye is, I know he's a horse, but he's the dog that everybody ever wants. It's just, I don't know. You get the elevator showdown, which is really fun too. But like I said, that first one is still, I love it just as much. So it's hard. I feel like with a lot of the ones we're going to talk about, I have a definitive answer. This one, it probably depends on the day.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, let's jump to a completely different genre, completely different everything. Top Gun versus Top Gun 2 Maverick.
See, this is an easy one.
So that's really interesting because like the first one was like so easy for me and you said this is easy for you. So which one do you have as superior?
100% Maverick.
My thoughts on it, Will, ding, 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 we have aligned again, which I think is almost like, I think that started as a hot take and it's not so much anymore. Like
I don't think it is
settled.
Yeah. So the original Top Gun is obviously a fantastic movie.
Yeah,
it's 1000% 80 coded, but it just, when I watched it for the first time, I was a bit underwhelmed because it had all this hype, like, oh, it's one of the greatest movies of the 80s. I personally don't think it's a top 50 movie of the 80s. Come after me if you want. Maybe that's my hot take for this episode. But I went and saw Maverick in theaters. Obviously, I hope everybody's first experience watching this movie was in theaters because it's definitely a theater movie. I just remember being blown away. I think the cast we get with Miles Teller and Glenn Powell, even in a supporting role before he kind of became the it guy. And then obviously Tom Cruise. John Hamm is on the cast, which he's fantastic in it. I think this one just looks fantastic. The sound is awesome. And I think it, at the end of the day, is just a better story. I love that it's the Tom Cruise comes back to teach these kids the impossible run, then they do the run, and then you have the crash, and the climax of this film is just, I think, better.
Yeah, I agree with every word that you said. I think also, and I'm well aware of this, and I don't think this is a negative at all, but this was my first movie I saw in theaters after COVID hit. And I think that was the case for a lot of us. And I remember it hit me immediately. Like when the film was over, I looked at the person I went with and I said, that was better than the first one. And his words to me, he went, how dare you? And I was like, no, it was definitely better than the first. And I thought a 0% chance I would have said that going in. I thought it was going to be fun. But when it ended, I said, this movie gave me quite literally, without exaggeration, every single thing I wanted from a sequel of Top Gun. Every single thing. I think the casting was brilliant. Jennifer Connelly, Miles Teller, Glenn Powell, like John Hamm. Also, I straight up cried in the scene between Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer. I cried.
Oh, yeah.
It was a beautiful scene. You know, you're seeing Val Kilmer as the human, you know, really going through something traumatic and personal, and he's not able to really speak. But you absolutely feel everything between Maverick and Iceman. And then you see this evolution of them being such intense friends that would do anything for each other, that would fight side by side together. And I thought that scene was so beautiful. The dog fighting at the end, getting back into the original plane from Top Gun, like just everything worked. I'm so happy that they've greenlit a sequel again, a third one. And they said like Miles Teller and Glenn Powell are both coming back, which I think is awesome.
I'm here for it.
And 100%. I'm here for it, and I think that Top Gun Maverick is the superior film. Out there, let us know what you guys think. You know, is Top Gun or Top Gun Maverick the better one? All right, let's go to a classic. Godfather, Godfather 2.
Okay.
So I'm going to go first on this one, and it's really, really tough because the sequel gives you this really incredible arc with the story that takes you in a direction that is surprising and interesting, and you're like, oh, okay, this is going down an even darker path. You see the evolution of Michael, him grown into this role that you didn't want to see him go down this path and all that. But for me, and this is kind of like, I guess, a Toy Story one for you, any given day I can give a different answer. But for me, I have such an appreciation for the introduction of these characters, the introduction of this story, what it does, showing Michael going from this bright-eyed, excited man who wants to have a family and get married, and then he is thrust into this world that he has no interest in being. And by the end of this film, like just the restaurant scene alone and how iconic that is and how that has inspired so much. I just think the original Godfather is a true piece of masterful filmmaking.
And I agree. This is another one that's really close for me, but it doesn't depend on the day. I lean the first one pretty consistently. Like you said, the second one's cool. You get the backstory of Vito, which is obviously fantastic, and you get De Niro in that role. But the first one to me is just, I love the grit, I guess I'd say, of the film. Yeah. It's a very gritty film set in New York City. And like you said, I love the introduction of these characters. Some of the characters, I guess spoiler, but if you haven't seen it, it's like 50-something years old, so that's on you. You don't get them in the second movie as well, you know? So I think you have the best cast of characters in this one, and you get Marlon Brando, you get Al Pacino. Like you said, that restaurant scene is so iconic. You get some iconic lines, and I think I just like the New York City setting a lot more. Not taking away, because I would love to live in the house that's on Lake Tahoe in the second movie. I just think I like being in New York more than being on this estate on this like $1 million island. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And another thing I love is how much the first film is not afraid to live in the shadows. Like so much of these characters, they're sitting in darkness. They're like single source lit. And it's really this kind of fearless approach to filmmaking of having the character that you want the audience to focus on, like living in the shadows and having so much darkness over them and introducing light at very specific moments. I just think it was very brave filmmaking.
Yeah.
And introduces iconic characters that have lived with us, for decades and decades. So yeah, absolutely. Godfather original. And then let's finish it off with a fun one. Let's do Mad Max versus Road Warrior.
Okay.
And we'll go with the superior you know what? I want to hear your thoughts on this first, because I know that you got some thoughts.
Yeah.
So which one are you giving the superior film to?
This is a tough one, because I love them both. I've said on this podcast before that I actually prefer the older Mad Maxes over. I know Fury Road is the big one. We've talked about that, but I'd probably have to go 2 on this one. I think it's very close. I just think there's more fun to be had in Road Warrior if I had to pick. I'm going Road Warrior.
Yeah, I'm actually right there with you. I think Road Warrior is an absolute blast, start to finish. The action is so good. The choreography is so good. It feels raw and intense. And I mean, I think more so than the first one, you feel the real grittiness and intensity of this world.
Yeah.
And I think they really they kind of took the training wheels off and just full blast said, you know what, we're just going for it. And whatever people think is what they think. And what I think was it was an absolute home run. I love the movie. Like, I think the first one is great for introducing our hero and introducing this world and this wasteland and all of this. But it's like the first one is what we could do, and then the second one is actually exploring it and really like taking it to the next level.
And the third one's like, what if we did too much?
No. Yeah, and the third one is like, what if we just stopped caring about quality and wanted to make money?
And I still love the third one, but it's definitely the weakest link. But no, I agree with everything you said. It's the second one. There's just no slowing down. It's from start to finish, 200 miles per hour.
Yeah, for sure.
But it never feels like too much like that third one. It feels like it all fits. It feels like you should be here along this ride.
Yeah, absolutely. It just works in every way. Okay, let us know what you guys think. We broke down Toy Story versus Toy Story 2, Godfather versus Godfather 2, Top Gun versus Top Gun Maverick, Mad Max versus Road Warrior. Let us know out there what you guys think of our reviews. Are we right? Are we wrong? We don't care, but let us know. All right, Will, jumping into Rotten Tomatoes, I have 4 movies for you. I'm going to give their scores, and we're going to give them too high, too low, or just right. We're going to start off with a 90s classic, Space Jam comes in at a 44% on Rotten Tomatoes. Do we think that's too high, too low, or just right? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Too low. Too low.
100%.
What are we talking about here?
I don't even think there really needs to be anything said. It's Space Jam's fantastic.
One of the greatest blends of animation and human acting, like, Michael Jordan, and the fact that they got Jordan. I know they got other players to play the supporting roles, like Barkley and stuff like that, Muggsy Bogues, which is so fun. But the fact that they got Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player in the world, like in his prime, to do this, I thought was just like the coolest thing. Yeah.
Greatest at the time.
Yeah, the greatest player that's ever lived for sure.
No. Not ever lived.
Yeah.
Don't. We're forgetting about LeBron James.
No, I'm not forgetting about LeBron James. So, like I said, the greatest player that's ever lived. Listen, if you want to say the greatest player that has played for the longest, yeah, LeBron James, 100%. But if you want to say the greatest player, period, then it's Michael Jordan.
We're going to turn
So,
this into a sports podcast.
I mean, we can have it out. That's fine. But what we can agree on is that incredibly underrated 44% is ridiculous. Space Jam,
For
such
sure.
a blast, so much fun. And also Bill Murray. Bill Murray has
Yes.
a great turn in this movie, and it's so much fun.
Yeah. And I'll give Michael Jordan, he has the better Space Jam. It goes without saying.
Mike, I was wondering if you were going to bring it up. I was like, do I have to really bring up LeBron's Space Jam and how awful that was?
No. We'll give you that. I'll give you that one. We'll save the GOAT debate for another time, but I'll give you Jordan has the better Space Jam.
All right, we can start that. Okay, so next film, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel has a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. What are our thoughts on that? Think it over. 79% in 3, 2, 1. Too high.
Too high.
Captain Marvel just doesn't do it for me at all, that movie.
Yeah, I don't hate the movie. But I agree, it just doesn't do much for me. And in the scheme of like the MCU, it is definitely towards the bottom of my rankings. I mean, that's also like there's a lot of MCU movies I adore, so it's not like I guess the best comparison. But yeah, it's just I would say at the peak of my thoughts on this movie, it was still only a 7 out of 10. So even if I'm talking like the highest I've ever thought of this film, it's still lower than a 79.
Yeah, I would put it at maybe a 55 to 60%.
That's probably where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
I'm probably sitting around 6 out of 10 as years have passed, you know.
Yeah, it's really underwhelming.
Yeah.
It's too much, it's too fast, it's too look how cool this is, and this is her origin story, and we're going to tell it as quickly and less efficiently as possible. And it's a really underwhelming film, and I don't know, it just bummed me out, but yeah, underwhelming overall.
For sure.
Third movie, Jumanji, the original with the late great Robin Williams, 55% on Rotten Tomatoes. The original Jumanji, 55%, too high, too low, just right. 3, 2, 1, too low. I mean,
way too low.
That movie is attached to my childhood in a way.
Yeah.
I could pop on right now at 40 years old and I'd be so happy and just have such a great time with it.
Yeah, it's a part of my childhood as well. Jumanji, the original Jumanji might be the first movie that like hit 20 watches by me in my lifetime. I remember watching that movie like pretty religiously as a kid. And it's got a loaded cast too. Like, you know, obviously Robin Williams is the standout. He's the most recognizable. Bonnie Hunt and a young Kirsten Dunst, like, you know, looking back at it now, you're like, those are some big names. But you're right. It's just a fun time. Honestly, you know, you watch this movie and it's all hell breaks loose, right? But it's still, for some reason, I always wanted to play the game as a kid. So like, you know, obviously they were doing something right because they made me want to play this game, even though I'm watching, you know, stampedes go through a living room and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. It was fun. It's a blast, start to finish. I had the game. It's very underwhelming compared to the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a cultural icon film, obviously, because we have, you know, kind of reboots and stuff going on right now. But it's just a fantastic film. It's so much fun. Robin Williams brings it to life like no other actor could. You know, all the props to the late great Robin Williams. And the fourth film of Rotten Tomatoes is Man of Steel. First film with Henry Cavill as Superman, comes in at 56% on Rotten Tomatoes. So Man of Steel, 56%, too high, too low, just right. In 3, 2, 1. Too high.
I'd probably give this a 6 out of 10, so I think a 56 is fair.
I would give this movie roughly a 3 out of 10, I would say. I think it is one of the worst Superman movies ever made. I think it is And it's interesting because I realize I'm definitely in the minority here with my
Mhm.
thoughts. I'm a very, very harsh critic of that film. And it's not even because I'm a Superman glazer in general. Like, just, I was so excited for this film. I thought Henry Cavill is maybe the best looking Superman we've ever seen. Like, he
Mhm.
looks like how Superman should look in my head. And everything about the film did not work for me from start to finish.
Yeah.
Performances, I was really underwhelmed by. It felt slow. It was so dark and gloomy and sad, and just, I was like, oh, so Superman, Clark Kent's the most depressed person ever? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm never going to kill anybody, but I'm going to destroy billions of dollars in property and kill tens of thousands of people. Okay, yeah, no, for sure that makes sense. And
Yeah.
then, my arch rival, who is this general that is this iconic character, we fight for 15 minutes and then I snap his neck. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that makes sense for sure. It just, and the chemistry, look, Henry Cavill's a fine actor. There's nothing wrong with him as an actor.
Mhm.
Amy Adams, I think, is one of our great actors that is working. Their chemistry is non-existent.
Yeah. I
Just
can get behind that.
their chemistry is terrible. Like, where if you look at, you have David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan, love their chemistry. I thought their chemistry
Fantastic.
was great. Like, ate that up. She was such a strong Lois Lane, took no crap from anybody. I bought it. He's a super sweet guy. The way that their kind of yin yang worked, I totally bought into it. This Amy Adams and Henry Cavill, zero chemistry. So
Yeah.
I have such a problem with this film, and it is a film that I would happily never rewatch again.
Yeah, I definitely liked it more than you did, but I didn't love it. I can get on board with a lot of things you said. When you said sad and gloomy, I agree with that. To me, this has always just felt like a corporate Superman. Like the
Yeah.
suit's like this dark navy, and everybody's just like PO'd at the world. Whereas I think that's the reason I loved the new Superman so much is it felt, well, one, it felt like a movie this world needed, but it's just this guy that wants the world to be at peace and everybody to be happy. And you bring back the bright colors in the suit, and Cornsweet might be my epitome of Superman at this point. I know that's crazy to say because there's so many that come before him, but I think James Gunn knocked that movie out of the park. But with this one, I kind of get that feeling from a lot of Snyder films too, is just that slow paced, kind of a drudge to watch, some fun with the action here and there. It's obviously a very similar origin story that we've seen before, but I agree it's not anything worthwhile. So I don't think they're that far off with the 56%.
Yeah, really just underwhelming experience. Obviously, underwhelming for you, hatred for me.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you guys think of our reviews of The Scores Too High, Too Low, Just Right, Space Jam, Captain Marvel, Jumanji, and Man of Steel? What do you guys out there think of our thoughts on the films? All right. Well, let's jump into our hot takes of the week. What do you have for me?
I was just talking to a coworker today about a hot take I have, and I know it's not in the season, but I just have to get it off my chest.
Hit me with it.
And that is The Polar Express is the worst Christmas movie ever made.
Oh, interesting.
I think that
Okay.
movie is...
Give me more. Give me why.
Well, this is going to sound bad, but I think every kid in that movie is like incredibly punchable. I don't think any of them are worth cheering for, especially the kid with glasses. And I think the thing that really sets me off the most with this movie is the entire premise of the Polar Express, right? Is the magic of Christmas. And the North Pole we get is like the most industrial revolution factory North Pole. All the elves are like dicks. And so for me, I just don't think that it portrays the whimsy that it thinks it does. Is there some great songs here and there? Yeah, I get that. The Hot Chocolate song is fun, but it's just a movie that never really did much. I actually remember watching this as a kid and hating it as well. So this isn't like something like you've grown up and you've just become a Scrooge. No, this is just a way I felt about this movie forever.
Yeah, and on that, you're like the least Scrooge guy that I know. So
yeah, like
I don't apply that at all. No, I agree. The movie does nothing for me. I've watched it one time and I've never watched it again. I have no interest in watching it again. So I don't dislike it as much as you. I wouldn't say it's the worst Christmas movie I've ever seen, but it is entirely unrewatchable, which I think for movie fans like you and I, saying that a movie you have no interest in watching it again, I think that's about all you need to say about a movie, right?
For sure. Replay value is huge for me, especially when I'm scoring a movie. Like if I can't rewatch a movie, it's definitely not going to get a super high score from me.
Yeah. So my hot take of the week, I know I'm going to make some enemies with this one, but I wanted to hit with something real. David Lynch has passed. He is an iconic filmmaker. My hot take of the week is David Lynch was a creative genius and a brilliant writer, but not a great director.
Okay.
I think that his concepts, I think his originality, his stories have changed cinema, and I think that's not over exaggerating. Whether you like it or not, Eraserhead changed movies. Whether you like it or not, Blue Velvet changed how movies was made. Whether you like it or not, Mulholland Drive changed movies. Twin Peaks changed television.
Yeah.
So I think he is a absolute brilliant writer. I think he's a creative genius, but I do not think he's a great director because when I watch all of those movies I just named, Eraserhead, Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, Twin Peaks, Show, just to name a few, there is, and maybe this is the director in me talking, and you can say that this is, egotistical or whatever. There is almost every single scene I would have done things completely differently. Like,
Okay.
I would have done different angles, different viewpoints, just different everything. Like, I think he is this guy that comes up with these masterful ideas that I wish he just would have given to somebody else to direct.
Yeah.
Because I think he kind of directs himself into a corner and he creates these amazing worlds, and then it seems like they get stagnant halfway through, and then he's just trying to claw himself out of the box. And I don't think it's because of his writing. I think it's because of his directing. He
Okay.
was meant to be a very harsh director of making really quick, harsh decisions. No, we're just doing this. No, we're just doing this. And I think it might have been better if he was kind of just a more thought out director.
Yeah.
Or just kind of gave the role to somebody else. So I know that's going to make some enemies, and I don't care. It's just my thoughts. But those are our hot takes for the week. Let us know your thoughts on our hot takes. What are your thoughts on Polar Express and David Lynch's career? All right, Will, let's jump into the movie of the week. And we are going to review what movie?
Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme. Now, I know just in our talks off mic, you have a lot of really strong thoughts about this film. I rewatched it again for the second time while on the plane going over to Paris, which is why I thought, let's do this. Maybe one of the most talked about movies of the year. Obviously, yep. Chalamet. If you had to, just to kind of give us a base point for the audience, if you, 1 to 10, what do you give Marty Supreme? 10. Yes. So you absolutely love the film. One of your favorites or your favorite film of the year? Where would you kind of put that for you?
I'd put it second behind Sinners, but it was right there. When we had our Oscars discussion, I did kind of say, if Marty Supreme gets thrown any love, I'm here for it. I just feel like I did see it twice in theaters, and I actually just picked up the Marty Mauser official ping pong balls off the A24 website. Shout out the A24 membership for giving you $5 credits every month because I use those to buy them. But I thought it was fun going into it. Watching the trailer, I was really excited for this because Chalamet's in it, and anything he's in, I'm going to give a chance because I just think he's that guy right now. And obviously, there's a Safdie brother attached to it, so that makes you even more excited. And the trailer looked fun. I didn't really know what to expect a whole lot. You're like, oh, this is a ping pong movie, but this is you'd almost call it an adventure movie. And I don't know if you agree with me on that, but it's just you're almost going along for the ride of Marty Mauser and his pursuit for greatness. And it's a buck wild ride.
Yeah. I think Marty Supreme is, here we go. This might end our friendship. I think it is an incredibly overhyped film.
Wow. Did you text me and ask me to do this film just so you could disagree with me?
No, not at all. I texted you and asked you to do this film because I think this is the kind of thing that's good for us to talk about, because I don't disagree with what you're saying. I just know that I have a different opinion and viewpoint of the film.
That's fair.
I think this film was made, created, and designed to be an acting vehicle for Timothée Chalamet, and that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
It is a way for him to show off his talents. Now, when I say overhyped, I don't say that because Marty Supreme's a bad film. I don't think it's a bad film at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think overhyped because, this film I think is at a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think that's obnoxious. For me, if you would say 80%, I'd be like, yeah, just right. That's fine. That's a B. That's a B grade, and there's nothing wrong with that. So you can say overhyped, and it doesn't mean bad, right?
Yeah.
I think Marty Supreme is very, very overhyped. I think it's an acting vehicle for Chalamet. The thing that I struggle with, and I know this is a personal thing, is if we are told that our protagonist and the person we are rooting for is an absolutely insufferable. I struggle with that. He is an insufferable human for me. Like,
That's fair.
he is a liar. He is an antagonizer. He is a piece of crap person. Like, if you take Chalamet away, you take the ping pong away, and you just look at him as a human, he's a pretty crappy human. And
Yeah.
there's a difference between somebody being a crappy human and figuring it out, and somebody just plain being a crappy human. You can't have, in my mind, a 49-minute film, and 145 minutes of that he sucks at life, and then he looks at his baby at the end and goes, "Man, I'm gonna cry and be a good dad now," and then the movie ends. Like, no. Like, you don't get to just be crappy at everything, and you don't get to hurt everybody and lie to everybody and betray everybody and go, "That's not my baby. That's not my baby. Are you kidding me?" And he knows it's his baby. Like, and he gets this woman that is clearly in love with him to do all of his bidding and to lie for him and do all these things. And then as soon as she's hurt, he shows up like a hero and hits the husband in the face with a thing, is like, "Hey, you shouldn't do that," and then scurries away and runs away. Like, he is an opportunistic hero, right? Like,
Yeah.
he gets what he wants. He's a man-child. And if he doesn't get what he wants, he takes his ball and he goes home. I think the movie is too long. It's bloated. It's an acting vehicle for Chalamet. And we're rooting for a protagonist that just sucks as a human. So those are my negatives, right? And I'm going real hard at it. The positives are, I think it's Chalamet's second best performance of his career.
Okay.
And the positives is that he is a phenom of an actor. He is an
Yes.
absolute force to be reckoned with. And I think if you gave this role and these words and this dialogue quite literally to any other actor, I would have hated this movie. But
That's fair.
it is the charm of Timothée Chalamet as a human that makes this movie watchable and in turn rewatchable for me. He has a charisma to him in a certain specific way that no other human, I think, possesses. And that is what makes this movie work the way that it does. And I know I spent a lot of time tearing it up. And it's just because I think the movie is really, really overhyped. I think there's so many things I just like. Gwyneth Paltrow, I just genuinely don't care about her character at all. Like Fran Drescher as his mom, I do not care at all about her character. Kevin O'Leary as the pen
I love
magnet,
Kevin
like I
O'Leary.
don't care about his character at all. And that's how I know that it's rough for me, because I care about these actors. Like
Yeah.
Kevin O'Leary gives a really good performance. I didn't know he was an actor. Like Gwyneth Paltrow gives a good performance. Fran Drescher gives a good performance. I just didn't care about the characters.
Okay.
So that's kind of my take on things. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on, take the like insufferable character part for me. What is your view of Marty that makes this film a 10 out of 10 second favorite film of the year for you, which, in the grand scope of things, puts it in your upper echelon of films that you've seen, right? What
Yeah.
is it that makes this film so endearing to you personally?
I think I have 82 10 out of 10, so it's a top 100 movie, right? But for me, I agree. Marty Supreme or Marty Mauser is definitely a piece of crap human. I think it's just being able to separate, I guess, that this is a movie and it's just more entertaining that way. Like, if I met Marty Mauser on the streets, I'd probably not be friends with him, right?
Yeah,
But watching this
absolutely
as a
not.
movie, I think him being a piece of crap makes this movie better. I think, you have to find a way to cheer for this guy despite not wanting to this entire movie. And then somehow when he finally gets his win in ping pong there at the end, you're like, he did it. And then he goes home and life's complete for him, right? And then he goes home and it's time to settle down and be a dad. I don't know. It's a movie that has a lot of charm. You said it with Timothée Chalamet. I mean, he's that guy. He can act with the best of them. He probably is the best of them right now. And he just makes it so hard not to like him. I do like a lot of the supporting characters. I think Odessa Azione finally getting a shot in a big film like this made me very happy, because I saw her in the Hellraiser remake that Hulu made, and I thought she was fantastic in that. So to see her kind of take on this bigger role with A24 was something I like to see. I loved Kevin O'Leary and his character. I thought he was just as bad of a person as Marty Mauser, but two wrongs make a right? No, I don't know if that's how that works, but I'm going to say it. And I think a lot of the way that movie's shot is fantastic. I think the direction is fantastic. It's really easy to watch. Is it long? Yes, but I never really felt like anything needed to be cut out for me. I felt like I had a good time with all of it. It's one of those movies that surpasses 2 hours, and I think I'm locked in the entire time. And after one watch, I didn't know if I wanted to give this a 10, but I think after a second watch, I did. And then I also have to give a shout out. I mean, they started the movie with, and they ended the movie with Tears for Fears songs. You give me that, and I'm a happy camper.
Yeah, good soundtrack. I did think that the actual, like, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, I think is literally the theme song of Marty Mauser.
Yes.
So I totally get that. The reason why I did not name Odessa, and a point I wanted to get to, is I think I was so impressed. She was my favorite character in the movie is her character. She's my favorite character in the movie. And I think
I'm actually kind of surprised she didn't get a supporting nod.
Yeah, I was really impressed with her performance. I think Odessa is a great actor, and I completely agree with what you said. It's really nice to see her get, a real kind of starring vehicle. I really, really hated the Until Dawn film, but the best part about the film was her. So I'm a big fan of her personally. I think she's a really, really good actor. She makes smart decisions and choices. Yeah. So I'm definitely hoping that this film is really going to, catapult her to more starring roles, because I think she is a leading actor. Like, I think she can carry a film,
I would say so too.
Film.
I would love to see her.
The thing I would have been most excited for is I didn't think about this, but I totally agree with what you said. I really think that she could have gotten a Best Supporting Actress nod.
Yeah, I full-heartedly feel that way. I would like to see her. I mean, we've seen her obviously in the Hellraiser remake on Hulu, and then you mentioned Until Dawn. I would love to see her even take on like a Mia Goth type of character. I think she could do it.
Yeah. No, 100%. She was my favorite thing about the film. She's so fun because, it makes me sad. And that's the whole thing is, right? Like, her character made me feel emotions. I felt really sad because she's trying so hard to just get this guy to see her, that she's involved with his scams and she's doing all this stuff and she's getting shot at and she's pregnant. And that just made me hate him even more, because I'm just like, dude, all you care about is you. You do not care about this pregnant woman. Like, you really don't.
Yeah.
So I just really struggle with liking him, but, Chalamet gives an absolute powerhouse performance.
It might be because it's him too. Like you said, if it's anybody else, I think that Marty's a more unlikable character than he already is,
Yeah, Chalamet does this thing where he's really good at very fast ramble talking, and I think that is an absolute key to nailing Marty Mauser, because he speaks so quickly. It's like the people that are opposing him don't have time to catch up, so they just go along with it. He's like, oh yeah, so this and this, and then you got to do this, and you got to do that, and people are just like, okay, yeah, right? Like, and he just talks, and I think that is a strength of Chalamet and his acting. So like I said, I think, Chalamet, great performance. Odessa, phenomenal performance. My favorite character in the film. Good actors, a lot of good things. But I think Marty Supreme overall is very, very overhyped. And I'm curious of how it's going to get viewed as time goes on. I think it could go up in love or in appreciation. And I think it could absolutely go down. And I'm curious of how I'm going to view it. Like, will it go up on my radar as time goes on, or will it go down? And really, the point of success for this film is the performance of Chalamet, which I think is his second best performance, at least for me personally, after Call Me By Your Name, which I think is just an exquisite performance by him.
Now, I will say, I have the A24 Marty Mauser ping pong table in my wish list. I'm starting to collect donations to help that be brought to my house. It is $850 on the A24 website. It just only makes sense because that it goes with the ping pong balls I bought. So, Adam, if you'd like to donate, let me know.
Yeah. If anybody out there would like to donate to the Back Row Critics Ping Pong Marty Mauser Table Foundation, we'll set it up, and you can reach out and donate. We'll take 10 cents all the way up to $150, whatever you guys want to give. But any other final thoughts on Marty Supreme, Will, that you wanted to dive into? I know you love the film.
Kind of want to watch it for a third time now.
Go for it. And you know what? I should watch it for a third time. And then, maybe we'll see if our opinions change and vary at all. But for our listeners out there, let us know, what are your thoughts on Marty Supreme? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you think of Chalamet's performance? And, of the supporting performances, who did you like most? Did you like Odessa, Gwyneth, Kevin? What performances did you enjoy the most? So let us know your thoughts. As always, we thank you guys for listening. We appreciate you. That we've been getting has been really cool, and we love doing this. So this is episode 6 of Back Row Critics. We'll be back with another episode soon. But as always, thank you, Will, for joining. Thank you guys for listening out there. and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.